Hello. Hello. I'm here. Hopefully it's working. Hello, everybody. I'm here. Let's see if it's working. Are you working today? Yay. Working. Let me make sure my chat is working. Yay. Okay. It's working. Great. As you come in, please hit that like button. Hi, Tarot Gothess. Thanks for being here. A little bit later than usual, but I made it. Hi, Judy. Thanks for being here. Oh no, I'm glad you were. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to worry you. I actually was, I spent pretty much all day recording videos because I freaked out because I was like, oh, February is tomorrow. So then I had several videos I needed to record. So I did that. So I at least have been productive. Sorry to worry you. It was mostly just trying to get caught up. January went so fast. I feel like I'm behind on everything. I'm behind on life. How are you all doing today? Good, I hope. Just saw you yesterday, so hopefully it's good today. Weekend is going well. Mm-hmm. Oh, I copied this here because I wanted to make sure not to forget what our vibration of the week was. Oh, okay. On your way to a baby shower. Well, that should be fun. It's gonna be fun, right? I guess that's one of those things you always have to ask because it's like, is it gonna be fun or not? Well, what do we have to talk about today? We will start with our vibration. Okay, it's one of those where you'll have to see when you get there, huh? I know about those too. So we'll start with our vibration from last week. And then tomorrow is the Grammys. So that'll probably dominate most of what we talk about today. But I'll leave this list up here if there's anything else you'd like to add, or if anyone wants to add as they are making their way in. I know I'm a little bit later than usual. This is more like a Friday time instead of a Saturday time for me. But like I said, I was working. I was working hard, getting some videos done. Hi, Josh. I'm glad you made it. Thanks for being here. Hopefully, you're having a good Saturday. Weekend's off to a good start. What do you have for me, Josh? Anything to add to this list? I already got the Grammys on here for us to, we'll recap what we already looked at, and we'll look at some of the astrology and numerology and all that good stuff. Hey, Alex! Hi! Thanks for being here. It's good to see ya. Let me know if there's anything else to add. I'm starting off real slow. I'm gonna slow myself down because I think I recorded. Well, it'll end up being I recorded like 3 videos, but they were long, so they'll actually be cut up. And so I probably recorded. Oh my gosh, it's probably gonna end up being 4 or 5 videos and then a ton of shorts. Yeah. But I'm almost caught up though with at least what my plan was, what I'd like to talk about and put videos out. I can't believe it's the end of January, like literally today. I don't know where that time went. It's insane. Let me know if you have anything to add to this list. I'm just chilling for a minute. I'm slowing my roll, slow it down, so then we can just chit chat. Yeah. Oh, it's Alex's birthday month, eh? Yeah. Well, you'll definitely have to come back and get your vibrations read. On a Friday is when we do those. That'll be fun. Okay, what you got? Josh has, oh yeah, J. Cole with Golden Goose. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, let's look at some of that. Yeah, and it was Rakim's birthday. Okay. No, I like it. I like it. I like it. So I actually looked at some of the um, J. Cole vibrations because I wanted to kind of see because it felt like there wasn't anything new. Like, yes, he was saying new things, but as far as the vibrations were concerned, we kind of already saw them, but we can definitely talk about that. So we'll look real quick at J. Cole Golden Goose. And we'll talk about like what we've already seen. And yeah, it was like yeah, it wasn't any like you didn't it wasn't like a shift in vibrations or like contributing anything different. But we'll talk about that. And then you said make sure I haven't heard this. Rock Marciano. Okay. But I do like is that the whole album name is 656 or is that just a track? Cuz that's kind of cool. Yeah, and we can look at Rakim's birthday. Yeah, yeah. And 58. So he's very much square in that wisdom square. January 28th. Cool. Okay, good. No, I think that's a good list. I think that's a good list, but we could certainly add to them. Oh, interesting. Okay. Thanks for bringing that, Josh. That'll be interesting to look at. So let's start. Oh, if you can grab the year for Rock Him, then we could do his life path number. But while you do that, let's look at the vibration from last week. So then we'll end with a new random number. So for anyone that hasn't been here before, and those that have, um, every week, and I don't know, oh, why is this on here? I just noticed we don't have our wheel. Let me see if I can get our wheel. Oh, I know why. It's because I didn't switch it from doing recordings. So let me see. Let me see if I can fix that. Okay, 1968. Thank you. We need our wheel. I don't know if I click on this. I don't know what y'all gonna see. So let's see. Let's see if I can fix this. Oh my gosh, I can't see. Oh, there we go. Oh, look, I did it. Woohoo! Proud of me. All right, go me. All right, there, we got our wheel. So now now it makes sense for me to say every week we spin our wheel for a random number. And then we look at those vibrations. To see if we can start picking up the vibrations that we're interacting with on a regular basis. So, as a quick reminder, everything is made of vibrations. Everything. Because everything is made of energy. So, if everything is made of energy, all energy is a weaving together of vibrations. And so everything is made up of vibrations. And the numbers that we see and that we work with, even the words and the lyrics and the sounds, everything is vibration. But here we really focus in on these numbers to represent the vibrations that we're encountering. So when we look at these random numbers every week, we're really trying to bring our awareness to our interaction with energies and vibrations around us. So then we can start actually using them in everyday life. And so last week we got this number 978, and it came up that this vibration was very much acting not as how we usually see, where it's like a 3-digit number is 3 steps. It's 3 vibrational steps that are woven together. But it was really a mixture of these dominant vibrations. And so we were looking for the vibration of 97, which we saw some yesterday, actually, in the live yesterday. But this is where we see about the tower. So this 16 to 7 energy, where that tower is a necessary change that needs to happen. If you don't make the change to get out of the tower, then you fall with the tower. Tower is going to fall regardless. Also, we did have 98 come up because it's the numerical vibration of the word sinners, or in this case, the title Sinners for the movie. So a lot of the discussions around those Oscar nominations for Sinners did come up this week. And then 78, and we saw this yesterday also, where it was this 15-6 that was coming up. And we a lot with this progression from 6 to 9. So those were the vibrations that we were to look out for this week. And I think as we talk about what has happened this week in the hip hop space, we can see what else is coming up. Yeah, exactly. The Tower is the 16th card in the tarot. And so it's whenever we have like the tarot cards, numerology, astrology, really any even if we think about it in like a scientific sense also, um everything is us trying to describe and put words to the vibrations that we're encountering. And so, yeah, all of those tarot cards, they represent different vibrations. And so we'll see those come up quite often when we're talking about the vibrations that we're looking at. So we'll keep an eye out for these vibrations today also. And then at the end, we'll get a new random number um, to look out for in this coming week. Yeah. I'm sure, Alex, you'll see a lot of the tarot cards meanings coming out, because especially because those tarot cards are associated with different number vibrations. They're also associated with different planets and signs in astrology, and so they'll all be working together. Yeah, so you'll have to add that information to our discussion. That'd be great, Alex. All right, so we talked about this. Oh, hi, LTFM. Thank you for being here. It's so good to see you. Do you have anything you'd like to add to this list before we get started? We're mostly going to focus on like the Grammys, and then Josh gave us a list of some other things to talk about also. Hey, Tiptoe Joe! You made it! So good to see you. Thanks for being here. I like that entrance. Boom shakalaka. We're just getting started, so let me know if you see something on the list that you want to add, or you don't see something on the list that you want to add. I should say. Yeah. I was wondering where that was from, cuz but I hear people using it all the time all over the place. All right, so you all tell me, how much of J. Cole Golden Goose do you want me to look at? And I asked that because when we were looking at his announcement of the album and the vibrations of his name with the album name, we were seeing some very dominant eight energy. So give me on a scale of like 1 to 5. One being very little, five a lot. How much do you want to talk about J. Cole? Because I'll just focus in. Like I don't do the same reactions and stuff. I leave that to the hip hop experts to do those reactions. Um, but we can look at the vibrations. Okay, oh, 0.5. Not even a full one. I mean, that's kind of how I'm feeling too, but I'll let me grab it. Actually, we'll just move over here. And oh yeah. Yeah, we can. We can add DJ Clue to that. Yes. Okay. We can do that. All right. So let's look at J. Cole. We'll add DJ Clue in here. And we'll just do their. Ew, what the hell happened? I forgot how to spell. That happens when I talk while I'm writing, but I never learn my lesson. I do it again over and over again. So we'll look at J. Cole and DJ Clue. We'll just look at those vibrations together. And then we'll just look at the title, the vibration for Golden Goose. And then for LTFM, who is probably one of the only people that could ask me to do this, and I will, we'll do Half Cracker. This is like you yesterday, Josh. Oh, hi, Cousin B. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. All right. So we're going to do these three things, and then we're not going to talk about J. Cole anymore. Because what we already saw when we were doing that bigger breakdown of the vibrations within the Fallout album name and J. Cole's general vibrations, we were seeing a lot of 8 energy, where it was like this 8 energy is very much reap what you sow. It's like the energy of what we perceive as karma. And so we already kind of saw that he was needing to face this energy that was coming back around as a first step to be able to move anything forward. So we already saw that. But let's look at names. We'll look at artist names again. So to get these vibrations, we use our little code where A equals 1. And then we keep the double digits and we go all the way to Z equals 26. And then that's how we can get the vibrations of their names and really all of these words. So for J. Cole, it's 10 plus 3 plus 15 plus 12 plus 5, which gives us a 45, which goes to a 9. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I know those are his words. LTFM. But I was saying, you're probably the only one that would get me to actually look at them. Because I know you have probably a deeper reason to look at it. All right, so DJ Clue is going to be a 4 plus a 10 plus 3 plus 12 plus 21 plus 5. Oh, this is interesting. So 55, which gives us a 10 and then a 1. But what's so interesting is that this 55 is the numeric vibration of the word karmic. So DJ Clue's name is resonating the same as this word karmic, and that goes back to the 8s that we were seeing for J. Cole. Was that last week? I don't even know when that was. Or a week before? I don't know. It doesn't matter. But the last time we talked about him. So then another interesting thing is all of these 5s here. So 5 is very much about change. But I don't know. What do you think? Because when I heard Golden Goose, well, when I heard not Golden Goose, but when I heard really all of everything, all of the Blizzard, yeah, like all of it, it it didn't feel like a change. Like it really was. And that's interesting also because even like using the older tracks, like bringing back some of those older classic New York tracks, that's 8 energy also. Yeah. Yes, Josh. So that's interesting. But then if we add these together, we get 100. And so with these two artists' names together, we get this feeling that what was coming through was definitely enhanced by this God or universe energy, but it's the kind of energy, it's the kind of vibration that we don't control. We have no control over it. But because it is this 100 and it has all of this God universe energy in it, and it was came out in 2026, which is also a 1 year, it would have felt very like exciting, that it was something new, and there would have been a high expectation that it was going that these two together would produce something new. And so then that's also where some of the excitement or some of the disappointment could come from, where if it didn't feel new enough or it didn't feel like it was something new, then there would be disappointment there, because this is a big build up of energy where it feels like it's not just something new, but it's something that should have been divinely enhanced. And I say it that way because it's interesting to see this, but that's not like what I felt. It seems like that's what some people felt. Or it's like it could have been what you started feeling like when you saw that it was dropped, but then actually listening to it, that feeling could have shifted. So that's interesting. All right, let's look, because I don't want to spend too much time on this, but let's look at Golden Goose. So Golden is 7 plus 15 plus 12 plus 4 plus 5 plus 14. And then Goose is 7 plus 15 plus 15 plus 19 plus 5. Oh man. Universe got jokes. Here's that zero energy coming through. Universe got jokes. Because Golden Goose adds up to 118, which is another 10. But 118 is the numerical vibration of the storm. So a sweeping in of energy that's coming through. So there it is. There it is. Like, oh, okay. Here we go. Same energy right there again. Yeah. There it is right there. All right. So let's look at Half Cracker. So it's going to be 8 plus 1 plus 12 plus 6 plus 3 plus 18 plus 1 plus 3 plus 11 plus 5 plus 18. Oh my gosh, again. Oh, I love the universe. This is funny. So, oh my gosh, this so tickled me. But also, make sure to mark this again. We have this 8. Also with this 11, where 11 is dualism or like a division. So it's like a split personality, a division of like, who are you really? But then here's that 8 again for that reap what you sow in karma. Half cracker is 86. 86 is the numerical vibration of the phrase a storm. It's like, yeah, there you go. There's some obvious energy for you. And it is what I suspected, where we weren't going to get really anything new, because here again is that 8, that energy coming back over here again. Coming back over here again to that reap what you sow, that karma energy. Yeah. So the vibration for the devil card is the 15, which is like that difference between bondage and freedom. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Two of Pentacles brings through dualism a lot also. Yeah. Thanks for adding that, Alex. All right, let me catch up in the chat and stop trying to giggle at this because it's funny. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Ooh, yes. That'll be great, LT. Yes, 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 yes. Love that. Yeah. Well, and we'll talk about the Grammys today. So if there's any parts of that that you want to expand, you want me to expand on to help just add even to your thinking, just let me know. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Judy. Everybody, please hit the like button. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, this is so interesting, but it is what I kind of was already feeling, is that we were going to get a lot of some of, the energy that we already were seeing, where that karmic energy, that energy of this reap what you sow coming back around was going to be dominant. It also is what's catching my attention and making me feel like I need to say before we move on is that we also see the 8. So if we look at the year 2026, if we just look at this 26, we are here with this other 8. But what makes this so significant and important to look at is that 26 is also the numerical vibration of the word God. So this is where you create your gods that you could fall victim to. And that was in his lyrics as well. And it feels like it's going to continue to be in his lyrics. That we're going to keep coming back around to this 8 energy. And then that means that there's going to keep being a question of, are you truly going to address the past and not just address it in saying things in a more subdued way, but are you really truly going to face the past? Very interesting. I think that was the right amount of time. But I will look at your comments and see if there's anything else we should chat about. Yes, exactly. Exactly, Alex. He's not doing a 180 where he's turning a corner and doing something different. He's doing this 360 where he's coming back around. So it's like he took this whole journey to just come back around. And that's the 8. That is the energy, the vibration of the 8. Where it's you start at a point, you start at a point and you go on this long old journey just to come back to that same point. Mm. Yes, exactly, LTFM. Yeah, where this is a this division um of like your identity. And this is a critical time right now for identity in hip hop because it's coming to the place where it's been tested since 2000. It was in that power square where it was being tested, its identity was being tested. So let me see if I have that image up where I can copy it. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. No, I don't see it. But hip hop since 2000 has been in this place where its identity has been tested. It's been asked all of these questions of who are you? Who is hip hop? What really represents hip hop? And how do you move into a place where your identity can now begin to grow as legacy? And so we're seeing a lot of these divisions within identity, within single artists, but also across the culture. And even hip hop as a genre, you see that split and that division around identity. So it's very interesting. And then starting in 2023 is when hip hop had its Chiron return start, where now its wounds of identity were open. And so now it's not just a challenging of identity, but it's also having the exposure of the wounds around identity, those sore spots, because that identity is so important within the hip hop culture. Like being real is so important. So that's very interesting. Yeah. Let's see. You think, Josh? You think aging in reverse is actually going to help? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Yes. Yes, exactly, LT. Yep. Yes. Yes, exactly. Isn't that interesting that like we see these dominant vibrations within the hip hop space just from its life cycle, like it's traveling around just time and life and gathering these vibrations of experience. And then we see it playing out in the artists themselves and in the music that they are producing, and even just in the discussions of the space, because there's been lots of discussions about identity and authentic identity, um, and this reap what you sow energy, even also of like we've even had like there's been at least 2 songs that I can think of that have come out just in the last year or so that were specifically about karma, about this reap what you sow energy and having to face what was already done. And that's that facing of the wounds and working to heal the wounds. All right, I'm going to move away from this. But that was interesting. But I don't think there's any much more to say. But it was kind of what I was feeling. That it's a lot of the same energy from when we first discussed it. Exactly, Judy. Yes, just like that. So let's now. So, Josh, you let me know. Do we want to do. Are you interested in looking at artist's name and the album um vibration, or just this album vibration? Both would be interesting. All right, let me see if I can copy this to get to. Nope, that's not it. All right, we'll just try this. Okay. Yeah, well, that's why I was asking Josh, because it did feel like it was that 656, which was most interesting. So why don't I, what, it's not like it's a heavy push, but let's see. Let me see. Can I erase this? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Ooh, that's a little fun. All right, don't get too wild there, lady. Okay, there we go. Almost erased everything. got a little got a little too eraser happy. So let's go ahead and just look at both. Because we can get the name pretty quickly and just see. Can't do it like, oh man, I wrote that terrible. Let's straighten it out a little bit. It's only going to be a little bit straighter. Okay. And then we'll look at 656. Very interesting. Okay. So let's look at Rock Marciano. So that's 18 plus 15 plus 3 plus 13 plus 1 plus 18 plus 3 plus 9 plus 1 plus 14 plus 15. Okay. That was worth it. That was pretty interesting. So Rock Marciano is 110, which goes to 2. So here we're seeing this vibrational theme that we've been seeing of 11 to 2 again. And this 110 is actually the numerical vibration of the word purpose. So it's this God or universe energy enhancing this 11. That's interesting. So through through this name, you could get a lot of insight on what is happening with a division or with duality. Interesting. And that is interesting then when we look at this 656, because the 656, we know this is a portal number. So whenever we have these two numbers on either end being the same vibration, they want to be near each other. And so it creates this portal movement. And it then is pushing through the vibration in the middle, which in this case is 5. And 5 is all about change. But I think what also is significant is that it's this 66, which we've been seeing a lot, that is powering this portal. It's powering this movement. So whenever we see like a movement of, it doesn't have to just be like the actions of a movement, but it starts with the mind and the ideas and the thoughts that then leads to the behaviors. And so this movement of the portal is creating a space for change to come through. But this 66 is the numerical vibration of the word freedom. Also, it's the numerical vibration of the word happy. So, this energy of freedom and happy is what's creating this momentum to bring forth change. Sorry, I had to listen. Also, what is wanting to be pointed out is this 65 and 66, 56. So 65, here's that 11. So this is giving that connection to his name. Because here's an 11 that's going to 2. And 65 is the numerical vibration of the word abundance. Also, I don't know why this is important, but it's the numerical vibration of the word white. So there's something there about this, and this may just be vibrationally, but it doesn't feel like it's just vibrationally. You may see hints of it, or it could be very loud, where it's a conversation around what abundance is. Huh. And achieving abundance or receiving abundance. But also, this 56, let me see where I could write this. Here we go. Is another 11. So there's a lot of this 11 to 2 energy. So a lot of this energy of dualism and exposing the extremes. Huh. That's interesting. Oh, that's why it's important. Okay, so 56 is the numerical vibration of the word healing, but also of the word light. So with 65 and 56 here together, you get white light. So it's like the purity of white light, where white light, which is, it's interesting because um white light, encompasses it and reflects all all of the different lights back together. So it's inclusion but also an absence of light. So that is like this dualistic discussion within these conversations of freedom and happy, bringing forth some kind of change. Huh. But because of his name, it feels very purpose driven. Like there's a bigger purpose. Huh. Wow, that's interesting. It's interesting to look and see how these vibrations are moving and working together. It's because it's very much moving like this portal, where the dominant energy really is about this conversation of freedom and happy, bringing forth this change. But there's some interesting stuff in here. Huh. Okay. Let me know what you think. If you have questions or anything else to add, we can add to this vibrational discussion. This was a good one. Thanks for bringing this, Josh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Um, we'll do Rakim's birthday, and then I can do the fight the feeling. Yeah, and we'll look at that too. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, LT. So like both white and black encompass all of the colors. But where white is the reflecting back all of the color, black is the absorption of all of the color. Yeah, it's interesting to think about because it is very much that dualism where it's like they are the same but different enough where they're considered to be these two extremes, like opposites, when in actuality they're more alike than different. Yeah. Yes, exactly, LT. Separation is just an illusion. Yeah. Yeah, because everything's connected because they're more the same than different. Yeah. You're welcome, Josh. Yeah, thanks for bringing that. That's interesting. All right. So let's move on down the road. uh, I guess next we're singing the Wiz song. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so I'm glad that that aligns because I haven't listened to his music, but that's, yeah, it would seem like most of what he would say would have like a deeper purpose, and it might just be for him. But yeah, having purpose as that name vibration is interesting. Yes, exactly, LT. Exactly. Yeah. We see all of these different contrasting where it's they're not different. Yeah, and you explain that really well. I forget which video that is. You can remind us of what video that was in the chat where you talked about that yin and yang, because that's a really important conversation to have, because that 11-2 energy is so dominant right now. We're seeing division and dualism all over the place, and it's very much the time to figure out how to end it. All right, I get to use the eraser again. Woohoo! Fun. All right, now we gotta move this up. Oh, rock him. This makes me so happy to actually look at this, because I haven't looked at rock hymns. So the first thing, happy birthday to rock him. And this is a good time to remind us all that your individual energy changes on your birthday. So all the things that we tend to do, like on the new year, where you're setting New Year's resolutions, you're looking at your intentions and your goals, what happened and what you did the year before, and what's to come. You really should be doing that on your birthday, because that's when your energy is actually shifting from one energetic or vibrational year to another. So that's really what you should be looking at, is on your birthday, that shifting of energy. Yes. Okay. Oh yeah, no, that was a good one. All right, let's see. So let's just look at his name first. So this gives us, so for anybody that didn't hear me say it before, I always try and repeat it so that people aren't confused where these numbers are coming from. But we use our little code where A equals 1, and then we go through the alphabet all the way to Z equals 26, where we keep the 2-digit numbers. And then that's where we get the numbers to be able to look at the vibrations of a name or of a word, something like that. So here for Rakim, it's 18 plus 1 plus 11 plus 9 plus 13. Yes, I love that. So Rakim is 52, which goes to a 7. And 52 is the numerical vibration of the word heart. So his for his name, this 2-digit name vibration feels very much like heart, and not just like having heart, but at the heart of something, like something that's much needed. Because if you think about the heart in your body, you can't live without the heart, and it's at a center point in your body, and it's a very important part of your body. So when we think about the culture of hip-hop, Rakim is at the heart of it, and his name shows that vibration. That's very cool. Also, here's that 2 again. So his name brings this vibration of needing to end division or dualism so that a change can happen. And once this change happens, then action can be taken. So pointing out and recognizing where the divisions are, what the extremes are, where is dualism, what are the polarizing factors that have created the division or dualism, and bringing an end to that so that true change can happen. And then from that place of change, bringing in or being able to actually do action and flow. So it's action and vibrational flow. Cool. So then to do his life path number, and this is for everybody. So this is how you can get your 2-digit life path number. So we work with the 2-digit life path numbers here so that you can actually use it as a path. And then your single digit is like the outcome or your contribution, your vibrational contribution to the whole. And so you always first do the year. So if we take 1 plus 9 plus 6 plus 8, we get the year is 24. And in numerology, we tend to, or wouldn't, I always say tend to, but you do. In numerology, you would reduce this to 6. But when we're looking at the vibrations, we want to keep this a double digit. So we take this year, we add the month, which would be 1 for January, and we add the day, which is 28. And then we get his life path number of 53. It felt like that. It felt like this vibration of, so 53 is a heart. So it felt like that heart energy was very strong here. And I thought it was just because of who he is, but it is. His life path number and his name. And so here, with his life path number, his main contribution vibrationally is to bring this 8 energy. So here's this 8 again, popping up again. But it's to bring this 8 energy to the space. It's to help himself and others recognize that reap what you sow energy and know how to work with it, know how to recognize it. But also to create these cycles, because this 8 is also cycles. So to create cycles, like ways of doing things, ways of thinking, certain behaviors that people will regularly come back to. And this makes sense. So creating this way of doing things or way of thinking that keeps coming back around. So his name keeps coming back around. The things that he's done comes back around. Whew, that's interesting, but that's exactly what he's doing. That he's creating these cycles of repetition because he's understanding this reap what he sow energy. He understands this by going through these 2 steps. So this is step 1. And step 1 is for him to fully understand what growth is. Like, what is growth? Like, is growth really like making the most money? Or is growth changing in some way? The first step for him is to fully understand what growth is, what that means to him and standing solid in it, and then helping and teaching others what growth looks like. And by understanding growth, then he's able to get to this step 2, which is change. But it's not just making change when it's your life path number. This is actually understanding what change is so well that you know when change needs to happen. So understanding growth well enough to know when have you outgrown something or someone where now you need to make a change. And by mastering that, then that's how he's able to create these cycles that contribute to the greater whole. Yeah, this is cool. And then it doesn't feel like cuz we can look at these two vibrations together. But what I found is that there's some people, and that's kind of what I'm feeling here, where their name and their life path number are so powerful coming through who they are that they actually need to operate separately. Well, in here having the 52 and the 53, they're very, they're very close and similar, but it's like what the 52 is doing over here is a powerful piece of vibrational contribution that needs to be separate from the 53. Just because those vibrations are coming through one person, they don't always mesh together. And that's what this is feeling like. It's almost like when you have somebody who's very influential, but they're influential in multiple ways. Huh. Or in multiple areas of life, where it's almost like, but that's not what this feels like. What it feels like is in multiple areas of life, both of these are contributing, but they're contributing in different ways. And the ways that they're contributing are so powerful that we shouldn't look at them together. Very interesting. But if we added these together, we would get 105. And so then we have these three fives here. So a dominant energy of change. Like changing something and creating a change, where this feels more like a 13 of transformation, like a change that you can't go back from. Interesting. All right, I'm going to look at your messages in the chat, see if there's anything else. I know you have stuff to add, but see if there's anything else we should add here or any other vibrations to look at. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. Yes, Josh. Yeah, that makes complete sense. So like having him, yeah. 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 Where it's, yeah, creating those cycles and the way of being a lyricist would put him at the heart. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes, happy birthday. This is amazing. This is very interesting. Yeah, another good one. Thanks, Josh. Yeah, exactly, LT. Where it's, yeah, it's like you have a change, but once you leave kindergarten, you can't go back. I mean, you can, like Billy Madison, look like crazy fool, but that was just for shits and giggles. But you can't go back. Yeah, exactly, LT. You can't go back to an old identity. Like when you go through a transformation, it literally is like a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. A butterfly cannot go back to being a caterpillar ever. So typically, change, when you see like the 5 vibration, that change vibration tends to be one where you can go back on, or you could change your mind about it. But a 13 of transformation, you can't go back on that because it's a full true transformation. And so that's why it's interesting here to see that he has all these 5 energies, but they're really coming across and feeling like more like a 13. Like the changes that he contributed, you can't go back from. It's like you can't undo them. That's cool. Very interesting. Okay, I'm gonna go back and get LTFM's request. Maybe I can find it. I'm looking in the chat. I always have to check and make sure I've got that all messages clicked. Cause it feels like YouTube turns it off sometimes. Cause I know I click it, like that's one of the first things I do whenever I come into any chat. But then I always have to keep checking because it feels like I'm missing something. All right. I might need you to put it in the chat again, LT, because of course I'm not finding it now. So tell me again what we were going to look at next. Oh, yes, that's right. Fight the feeling. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes, exactly, LT. Isn't that interesting? Like taking on like um that, so we know that your name is at the core of your vibrations, but it's really the only one that you can change and you can add on to. I think that's so cool. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, Snoop Lion. I do remember Snoop Lion. That was hilarious. Oh, that just made me giggle. All right. So, we're going to look at Fight the Feeling. And I'm going to look at this because it comes from you, LT. We're going to look at this 2 ways. We'll look at Fight the Feeling, and we're going to change our E's to 3s so we can see how that changes the vibration. And then we will also add this. We'll look at Kendrick Lamar. And this is Mac Miller, right? Good. We'll look at their names as well. Okay, cool. Okay, okay. So it was Mac Miller's song featuring Kendrick Lamar. That's what I thought. Um, okay, good. All right, so let's get our little code where we have A is 1 all the way to Z equals 26. Get a different color here. And so fight is 6 plus 1 plus 7 plus 8 plus 20. And I'm going to put these in individually. So that then we can see the difference across the title. Um, I know because I use it so much that you'll like this, LT, the is actually 33. And you know what else? 33 is also the numeric vibration of the word name. So when you're thinking of the name and you're talking about a name, you're resonating that 33. Just a little side note for you. And then feeling would be 6 plus 5 plus 5 plus 12 plus 9 plus 14 plus 7, which gives us 58. Ah, I love that. I knew I liked this vibration. It felt good. Is 141. And so actually have a whole video on 141, and it's the first meditative vibrational set of videos that I put out. But the thing that keeps coming up is 141 of is the numerical vibration of deserve it all. So man in the garden. So we got some of that same vibrations here in that title. So now let's look at this other way. So this is still 50. The now will become 31. And feeling will now become, let's see, 54. And so the first thing that I'm seeing here that's important, and we could put it up here with 33. 54 is the numerical vibration of the word love, but also of the word oracle. Like those vibes. Like those vibes for sure. All right, so then if we do 50 plus 31 plus 54, now we're getting 135. And typically, how I like to look at it is what is, so if we're looking at things spelled different ways or with a different weaving of energy, I like to be able to look at it almost like a chemical formula. Um, where if anybody remembers doing any kind of chemistry where you have like your input and your output on either side, and you're looking at what was changed over during the chemical process. So here we would look at 141 to 135, and what we are losing is a 6. And so what is lost in changing the vibrations is this 6. But that's not, all of these vibrations are both positive and negative. So you're losing this, it feels like, because 6 is very much about comfort. And so what this is feeling like is that here, when you have 141, where it's making this portal, creating this portal that's bringing forth this 4 of stability, this is very comfortable. So it feels like this is removing that comfort, and that's necessary to have this deeper conversation. It's like digging deeper to find what's really happening. And we just talked about it, but what 135 is it's a change. So a change is happening, and with that change, it's bringing on a transformation. And this transformation is bringing an end to how something is done. So changing those vibrations can really make a difference. That's why it's really important to understand what vibrations you're putting out into the world. So if it's like your artwork, it's your business, it's something else that you're creating that you're giving a title or a name to, those vibrations are what's going out and connecting with people. So while there's some people that would connect very much with 141, being able to have it feel very stable and comfortable, there are people that would attach to this 135 more in order to have those deeper discussions about change and transformation. And that's just coming from the vibrations of this title. That's very cool. Yeah, this is another good one. Interesting. So now let's look at their names. I'm going to see if I can be fancy. Sometimes I can be fancy and tech savvy, and sometimes I can't. Oh, today's a good day. I was able to do it. So, for their names, we have looked at Kendrick Lamar's name so much, or at least I have, that I already know that Kendrick Lamar's name is 120. It draws in this God, universe, higher power energy, and it brings a change in perspective. And with this change of perspective, you get to a place where growth can happen. But remembering that growth can happen in any direction. So when you're interacting with the vibrations of the name Kendrick Lamar, you're very much getting this interaction of bringing on a change in perspective that could bring growth in any direction. Hey, King Hell! Thanks for being here. It's so good to see you. I hope you're doing well. So that's interesting. So let's look at Mac Miller. So if we use our little code where this will be, M will be 13. So it's 13 plus 1 plus 3 plus 13 plus 9 plus 12 plus 12 plus 5 plus 18. uh, Sorry, you got another funny. I don't know. It always cracks me up. Like, I shouldn't be surprised because, like, I feel these vibrations all the time. And I see them coming, but it still cracks me up. So, Mac Miller is 86. Just, where did we see 86? Oh, yeah. Yeah. We saw 86 over there with J. Cole and DJ Clue. Half Cracker. That's where 86 came from. But this, yeah, 86 is the numerical vibration of the statement a storm. So bringing in this vibration of a storm. That's very interesting. So while the song itself in its title is trying to create this stability with that 141, Mac Miller's energy in general is feeling like a storm, like it's shaking things up. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. So let's look at, because it's Mac Miller's song, let's look at, here, we'll just use black. Let's take the title of the song, so 141 plus his name of 86. And that gives us 227, which here again, here's that 11 2 again. So this just it being his song, so just with Mac Miller's name plus the song's name, we get this 227 that is again bringing forth this vibration of really needing to look at and recognize where the division is and dualism, and finding a way to bring an end to it. Interesting. So then, if we add, need a different color. All right. Now, if we add Kendrick Lamar as a feature here, now we get, whoa, 347. Okay. And so just alone, so just with Mac Miller and his song, we're getting like this feeling of needing to take action. But it's action in vibrational flow. That's this 7. We're having that again here. But here, this 47 is again this 11 to 2 vibration that then is leading to growth. But it's taking action. Let me know if this is way too small, because it feels like it's too small. It's taking action to bring stability. And by taking the action to bring stability, it's allowing for growth to happen. Also, 47 is the numerical vibration of time, the word time. So it can very much feel like there's like it's a point in time, it's something important about time along with this growth. Like the timing is what's important for this action and stability for growth to happen. Interesting. Oh, here, what else is coming up? So, also, what's coming up for this 347 is that there's a big emphasis here on this 34 and this 34 needing to come together to make the 7. So the sense of stability that is needed to grow, that needs to come together, that needs to happen to get to this 7, so that we're actually able to get to this 77, which is the numerical vibration of the word power. Very interesting. So this vibration that's coming out. So by Mac Miller, and we could do our little like chemical change thing again. So when it's just Mac Miller, just like on his song, it's the 227. Then when we bring in Kendrick Lamar as a feature, now it's changing really what the purpose is here, where we still have a need to take action in vibrational flow. So the acceptance of what is the timing is important in both places, but it's dominant here in this 347. But whereas here, this action is taking us to this place of ending division or dualism, which is the 2, to be able to get to stability. Here, as soon as you take the action, you get stability. And now you're able to grow. So by adding Kendrick Lamar's energy here, you get to the stability faster, and you're able to grow, and you have the opportunity to actually grow into power. Huh. Well, all right. Not what I expected at all, but very interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. Well, do you have anything else that you want to add to this, LT? Oh, okay. I just saw your comment about how this is coming up in your video. Yes, that is great. So, what else? Is there anything else I can dive deeper into for you so that you can add it? This is great. Very interesting. Yeah, you know what, King Hammer? It's kind of crazy to me too, and I'm the one that's doing it. I just read it how I see it. Oh, okay. Oh, that'll be good. That'll be really good. Yeah, this is going to be very interesting. I I really like how you put your videos together, LT, because they are very thought provoking. I like it. Yeah, we can include the numbers in here. Cuz let me see. What do we I think all we have left on our list is to do. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about the Grammys real quick, and then we'll get our random number. So yeah, I can take those numbers. Boop. All right, let me get down here. Oh my gosh. Every time I move on here today, I keep singing that Wiz song. Ease on down the road. Why? I don't know why that keeps coming to my head. It's crazy. What is this? Why are you doing that? Just when I think I've mastered this whiteboard, it does something weird again. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, all right, so it's John 14, 17. John 14, 18. John 14, 20. And John 14, 22. So, first thing, I didn't write it up here. uh, but 347 adds up to 14 and the 5 of change. 77 adds up to the 14 and the 5 of change. So already it's resonating because of that 14 in there. And 14 is all about it's a mixing of energies. So seeing all of these 14s, that's the first thing that is coming out, is that this 14 is like it's like mixing vinegar um with oil. They're both necessary to have a good dressing. Like you can't have it like you without one or the other. You have to have them both. But it's a mixing, not a combining, where it's like the two energies, the two dominant energies, they are separate and independent, but they need to mix and come together. So that's interesting. It says this is not a combination of energies, it's definitely a mix. So then let's look at John. And so that's 10 plus 15 plus 8 plus 14. I thought so. See, I always say it like it always is like surprising, but not. John is 47. We already saw here this 47 is a dominant energy. So 47 is one of those 11-2 vibrations. But also, this is the numerical vibration of the word time. And so then how I tend to work with Bible verses is I always look at the book name. So I look at the vibrations as separate because they each are a dominant vibration that are contributing to the whole thing. So I would tend to do 47 plus 14 plus 17 to get what's actually happening in this vibrational story. And so, just in general, we have 47, which is all about the time. And this through time, there being, it's like ebbs and flow through time of when there is polarization and division. And then when that division is able to end, so it's this ebb and flow between this 11 and 2 over time. That's what 47 feels like to me. And then you have the 14, which is the mixing, and the 17, where we have the 7 again of the action, and the action and flow producing new energy. So if we add these up, we get 78, which I think is one of the vibrations we are supposed to be looking out for. I gotta go look. It's gonna drive me crazy if I don't. Yep, there it is. There it is. Okay, now we could go back. I just had to confirm for my brain. But 78 is well, it takes us to 15, which then is a 6. I feel like we need to look at all of these. So here with 14, 18, we know we're just adding 1, so that gives us a 79 to a 16, 7. Then we're adding 2 more, so we get 81. Takes us to a 9. And then we're adding 2 more. So this is interesting, where you have this 2 progression here. And what we had up here with just Mac Miller and his song, we had those 22s coming out. So we still have these patterns. And then, so adding 2 more, this gets us to 83. 83 is the numerical vibration of the word wisdom. And it's another one of those that adds up to the 11, 2. Yeah. Sorry, I was listening. I was listening to the message that was coming through. All right, so let's add these together. So if we do 78 plus 79 plus 81 plus 83, we get 321. So this is one of these interesting numbers where when we write the number, we write it from left to right. But when we're actually reading the vibration and we're looking at the vibrational story, we go right to left. So we actually read it this way: 1, 2, 3, of the building up of energy. Oh, wow. That's your daughter's birthday? Oh, wow. Of course it would be. I guess that's why you were meant to be here today. I love that. Yes. So when we feel the vibration, we feel it as 3, 2, 1. So it can feel like a countdown. But when we're actually looking at the vibrational story, we read it the other way. Um, there's something else going on here. All right, but this takes us to a 6. I want to take, so let's look at the 347. We're going to look at this 2 ways. We'll look at the 347, which is the title, Mac Miller and Kendrick Lamar's names. And we're going to do this 2 different ways. We're going to add, let's do the subtraction first. We're going to subtract it here. Oh, that's why. Okay, so when we subtract it, we get 26, which is that numerical vibration of the word God. So what we're seeing here is you're pulling the Bible verses that are speaking about or from the perspective of looking at God, the higher power. But the difference between these Bible verses and then what the vibration is that you're getting from the song with the people is 26. So it's like, what God do you serve? Huh. Well, okay. um wow. That's interesting. And then oh, hi Tiptoe Joe. But then let's look at 347 plus 321. And now we get 668. So when you're combining these vibrations, like when you're combining these vibrational stories, now you're getting this 668. And here's that 66 again of family and of freedom. But this story is about what are the cycles, especially, let me move this up, especially the cycles of energy coming back around. So that reap what you sow energy. And how is that contributing to or taking away from this feeling of being happy, but also the sense of freedom? Hmm. And then this is when we add up each of these digits, now we're getting a 20 to a 2 again. And so then here again is that conversation of how do we get to this ending of division. This 20 to 2, this 20 to 2, there's something significant about this 20 to 2. Um, yes, part of it is Kendrick Lamar's name having that vibration of 20 in it. But there's actually something else also. And it's something with timing. Something with timing. Hmm. So we do have this timing would be this is the vibration of the month of October here in 2026. I don't know why this timing is significant, but there's something significant about this timing. Hmm. Okay. Very interesting. Wow. Thanks for sharing that, LT. Yeah, this is going to be so interesting. It's the whole month of October. The whole month of October in this year will resonate at this 20 to 2. Oh, oh, but also this last year, this also would have been for November 2025. Yeah, there's something there. I don't know. And it's something about these vibrations coming together, especially in bringing out this vibration of the two. Something, something is, something is significant about, hey, like the more I like try and figure it out, October to, oof, we gotta watch for October 2026. There is something coming. What in the world? October 2026. That it is just really loud. So October 2026 is would be a 20 to 2 vibration just generally. Um for hip hop, what you do is you take the month plus the day of birth and add it to this vibration of 20. I don't know what that is about. Oh, well, that's interesting. Um, so it's a 39 vibrational day for hip hop, which is a 12 to 3 vibration. But this is the that is the life path number of hip hop. So if we do 8 plus 11 plus 1973, That's 39. What is happening in October? Now I'm curious. Like really curious. What is brewing? So whenever you have a vibrational day, month, or year that is um that resonates the same as your life path number, it is like a heightened moment in time for you. So this is a heightened moment in time for hip hop. All the whole month of October 2026. Yeah, that's a good point, LTFM. Um yeah, something could definitely be happening with Chiron. I just recorded earlier today because earlier today I was recording a bunch of videos because I'm like behind on everything. And one of the videos I recorded was 2026 energy for hip hop. And it did come out that a significant point in time would be September 2026 all the way to December 2026. That's a significant point in time. But when I did the general 2026, yeah, it was October kept coming up too. So, something is brewing. What is that about? All right, I'm about to dig into that deeper. I can't do it right now though, because I gotta have to dig in deep to the vibrational thread. Now I got what, two things on my list? Yeah, because I have that 1791 from yesterday, and now I'll look at October for hip hop. Well, thanks, LTFM. You somehow came up with the topic for me to tap into that. So we'll look at that more. Yeah, something. Something. Oh my gosh. And I'm having a hard time, like, now separating myself from it because I want to keep digging in and looking. Oh, interesting. Okay, let's look at the Grammys. Let's look at the Grammys. I'm gonna try and pull myself away. Try and pull myself away from those vibrations, and let's just take a peek at the Grammys. Mm, let me see if I can find, because I pulled some stuff. Okay, so I know I gotta let it simmer though, because I don't want to take it off of the heat too quick. We're gonna let it simmer. I'll come back to it. Let it slow cook, and then I'll come back. All right, let's see. Let's go over here. So, it was November 7th, 2025. So let's put some dates up here first for the Grammys. So nominations came out. Nominations came out for the Grammys November 7th, 2025. I already did some of this math for us. Um, and that is a 27 to 9 day. We're going to look at that real quick. And then the actual awards will be tomorrow, February 1st, which I can't believe. Like, how did we get here this fast? 2026. Huh. And that's a 13-4. So we have a couple of things happening in this vibration just in general. So when these nominations came out, it was resonating at a 27, um, which is a mirror image. So the name hip hop resonates at 72. So this 27 is a mirror image of the name hip hop. So on this day, there was a big reflection of hip hop, of that vibration of hip hop happening, where it was like people were looking in the mirror and seeing hip hop. Like hip hop was all over the place, and they were having to choose, are they going to ignore the reflection that they're seeing, or are they going to accept the reflection that you're seeing? So whenever we have these mirror images vibrations, it's always comes down to, are you going to accept the reflection that you see so you can learn the lessons that are meant for you to learn? Or are you going to try and ignore the reflection that you see and not accept it and project outwards your desire to not look at the reflection? So what that could come down to is like, where are you going to be accepting of hip hop and actually give them the nominations that they deserve? And where are the snubs? Where were there no nominations out of hip hop where it should have been? So this is interesting. So already these vibrations on this day were hip hop dominant. So then we shouldn't be surprised that we are seeing a very interesting turn of these Grammys being so hip hop dominant this year. On the actual day tomorrow, we have a 13, where 13 we've already talked about today is that vibration of transformation. It's the changes that happen that you cannot come back from. But because these are neutral vibrations, we don't know exactly what that means. It means that this could be where hip hop comes in and it makes such a clean sweep of things that you can never go back to where hip hop is not dominating that space of the actual awards space. Or it could be something where it's like there are so many snubs of where hip hop does not receive the awards or the accolades that it deserves. And now you're having to face that reflection of what did you really see in the mirror in hip hop that you did not want to accept or recognize. And you can't come back from that because now an explanation is being demanded. That feels very much like big extremes. Very big extremes. So that's interesting. I was listening to see if there was anything else we needed to do. Um, the other thing, no, we don't need to do that. We will do so tomorrow, hip hop's vibration for this day. You take the month of birth, which is August, you take the day of birth, which is the 11th, and you add it to the vibration of the day, which in this case is 13. And that gets us 32, which is a 5 of change. But the reason I wanted to bring this 32 out is because if we're looking at life path numbers, I'm just gonna do the calculation and you'll see what I'm doing. So if we look at July 4th, 1776, this is 32 to 5. So the life path number of the United States. And that is a dominant influencing energy here. So this tends to let me know that what we see at the Grammys tomorrow in relation to hip hop will be a reflection of what we can expect to see in the United States. Wow. So that'll be very telling. Very telling. I didn't expect to talk about that, but that's what's coming out. Then let's look at I pulled this from our whiteboard on the 8th, because on November 8th is when we looked at these vibrations. I know this is like freaking small, but I didn't want to have to rewrite all this. But what we found was, oh my gosh, look at this. These are the single digit numbers that we found. And it's like the same numbers we just were talking about. So the 8 is Bad Bunny, and that came up as being a repeat of what happened last year, where whoever was performing at the Super Bowl, and this is for album of the year. So if Bad Bunny wins, then it's a repeat of what happened last year, of whoever's performing at the Super Bowl will first win this big award before going into that space. But it's an uncomfortable choice. It's one of these options that feels uncomfortable. Interestingly, the 11s, so the two albums that are in here that are drawing attention to the division in the space are GNX and Let God Sort 'Em Out. So both of those, the way that they resonate, and I did the artist name with their album name with the vibration of the award title of album of the year. So we could see how they were resonating with each other. So these three we found were the uncomfortable choices. But in those uncomfortable choices, it would be making a statement. But then there were two comfortable choices. One was um, Sabrina Carpenter, and the other, which was interesting, is Leon Thomas. Where Leon Thomas is up for Best New Artist of the Year also, but is here for Album of the Year. But this would be a comfortable choice. It would be an unexpected but a comfortable choice. It's not going to cause a bunch of uproar. Neither one of these. And Josh, this is where you thought it was hilarious that like Leon Thomas's album is Mutt and Sabrina Carpenter's is Man's Best Friend. So they're both about dogs and they're like the comfortable choices. We do also have, let's see, which one is this? We have a couple more that are in here. Um, yeah, the canine albums. Yeah, exactly. Those are the comfortable choices. They feel comfortable. Like there's not a lot of friction there. But then we did have also um Tyler the Creator and Lady Gaga. So Lady Gaga was resonating at a 5, and also Tyler the Creator's album was resonating at a 5. And people have a hard time with 5s. So it wasn't even just that it would be uncomfortable. Like these potentially could be um they're like internally uncomfortable, not like at an individual level, not as a whole. So with these two, it's an individual having to make a decision. It's at the individual level of comfort or discomfort with change. Versus here, where this is like a whole system, like a systemic uncomfortable. Huh. Okay. Didn't expect to talk about that. But then we also have Justin Bieber with Swag, whose vibrations were a 3, but it was coming from a 12 to a 3. So there was this need for a change in perspective in order to make that decision. So when we broke this down and we really looked at all of these vibrations, it was these 5 that really came up as our biggest contenders, because they were resonating more at like a system, like a whole group system level instead of just an individual level. Where Lady Gaga and Tyler the Creator are like resonating at this 5, where it doesn't mean that they couldn't win. It just means that it's very dependent on individuals being okay with change. Same here with Justin Bieber. It's very individually based on, can you make a change in perspective in order to have this growth occur. So very interesting. So I wanted to give us this reminder, and then we can look at, I wanted to look at our chart. Look at our astrology chart for tomorrow. So what do you think? I have the charts both for the starting time of the Grammys. The time matters. So the starting time of the Grammys, but also the end of the Grammys. Because with this album of the year, I was thinking that the end of the Grammys might resonate more, might give us more information. But what do you think? So let me know. Should we use the start or the end time? I have both, so it's not a big deal. I can pick either one pretty easily. What do you think? End time? I think the end would be interesting because it's going to be closer to when that album of the year is selected. Oh, okay. I'm guessing that your agree, Josh, is the end. Because that's what I've been talking about. Okay. We can look at both. Yeah, we could look at both side by side so we could see the differences. Yeah, we can. Absolutely. Because I have them both. So let's first look at the day in general. And then we will look at specifically for hip hop. So let's see. Here's So let's see what the planets are doing tomorrow. So one thing that for sure is happening tomorrow, and I think the peak of it is, well, I'll point it out during the time of the Grammys. We'll point that out first. So that's the start. This is 5 p.m. Pacific time, so in LA. And then this one, this is 8:30 p.m. in LA. Okay. So I just pulled these. I haven't looked at them yet because I wanted to look at them with you and see where the vibrations take us in our discussion. Um so the first thing, what's happening tomorrow is there is a full moon. There's a full moon, which means that the moon and the sun are opposite each other. And so the energy between them is like getting pulled back and forth. It's trying to find a balance point. So at 5:30, here is the moon in Leo. And it's at, looks like 14 degrees. And then here's the moon 8:30. Now these are slightly shifted. So like, I wonder if I can. I want to like. Well, it does it when I don't want it to do it. Why won't it do it when I want it to do it? That's rude. But we could rotate this, maybe. Are you gonna let me do it? No. Well, fuck you then. But anyway, this is where Leo is here. So it's just with the time difference that now it's centered differently. But this is Leo and this is 16 degrees. That's important because you want to see how far off from exactly opposite each other they are. That tells you the strength of the full moon. So then here's the sun. And the sun is over here in Aquarius. And it's at 13 degrees. And it'll still be at 13 degrees here because the moon moves way faster than the sun does. So the moon shifting will change, but the sun will not. So we can already see right now. Thanks for this suggestion, LTFM, because this is good. That at the start of the Grammys, we're like right near, there's a 1 degree difference between the moon and the sun's positioning. So this is like right after. So it's probably the hour before when the full moon peaks, and it's now the Grammys are starting and it's still closest to its peak at the start. So at the peak of a full moon, and this is really for any moon, at the peak is its strongest energy, and it usually stays at that peak for the first 8 hours. So even though this now is a 3 degree difference, it's still very close to the peak. So we have the full moon is very much strong and dominating here. The full moon energy is all about illumination. It's putting a spotlight, but usually it's putting a spotlight on what needs to be pivoted. Where are things a little bit off? So that's interesting. And with this difference between Leo and Aquarius, where Leo is a spotlight on me and Aquarius is a spotlight on us. So that's interesting in this case, also talking about the Grammys, of like, where would the spotlight be? Will it be on the individual or will it be on the group? And I think, let me see if I have it open. Yep, I got it. Hip hop. Well, we'll see this on the other chart too, but I think it'd just be easier to see it here. Hip hop actually has its sun in Leo. So where the moon is, it's right near where hip hop has its sun. Because hip hop's sun, hip hop's spotlight is on the individual, on the me. It's wanting to have the spotlight on itself. So that adds to this, which is interesting. The other thing that I'm seeing that is interesting is there is a lot of planets. You see all these planets over here? And most of these are slower moving planets. So we have like this dominant planet formation here. This is actually in Aquarius, where Aquarius is that power to the people. It's the sign of rebellion and revolt and revolution. So all of these energies are very much bringing in this energy of revolution, of like doing something unexpected, because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and we have Uranus over here. It's right here. And we can see that it has two like connections to these groups of planets here. So there's a lot of Uranus energy here, which is a lot of energy of unexpected change and revolution. Huh. Yeah. Yes, Josh, this is like there's a lot. Well, what's happening this year is we have all of these planets that are like moving together. Um and part of it is because we had Pluto, which is the planet of transformation. So, speaking of transformations, we have Pluto over here in Aquarius. Pluto only changes signs like every, gosh, 18 years, maybe even more. Let me see. So, like 2025. Yeah, every 17, 18 years. Um, so it just moved in to Aquarius. And so it's this dominant energy of transformation in the space of Aquarius. So it's like transformation is very much bringing in or landing in this space of Aquarius, of power to the people, of revolution and revolt. The other thing that I just thought about that I did not think about till just now is that this so over here this is Uranus. Oh, I don't think you can see that. This one. We'll do this one. Is Uranus and its unexpected change. But something I was researching and looking at is Uranus very soon is going to be in Gemini. Uranus only makes it to a sign every 84 years. But every time Uranus has been in Gemini, the US has been in a war. Every time. And now on top of that, we have all of this revolution energy here over here in Aquarius. I did not expect that to come into this conversation. I thought we were just going to have fun talking about the Grammys, but there you go. But let's look and see what these energies are doing for hip hop in particular, because that's really where we want to look and explore. Let's grab these. So let's see. Grab these, and that hopefully will give you time to type if you need to type anything. And I'll get caught up in the chat before I start talking about these. So feel free to put anything you want in the chat. All right, let's see. All right, ma'am, I think you're a little too big. All right, I gotta look. Let me get some water. Let me give you a moment to put anything in the chat. And then I'll explain these charts and we can look at them. I didn't see your comment, LT, but you're right. You had the dog with God on your yin and yang chart. Oh yeah, but that's that little G God versus big G God is a huge vibrational story and theme that's coming out this year. And then we have the two canine albums, as Josh likes to put it. All right. So how you read these charts is the inside circle is hip hop. That's hip hop's birth chart. And so then the outside circle, that's actually the day. So in this case, it's February 1st. And so what you do, so we can look for those dominant vibrations that we just looked at on the day, and then we can look and see what they're impacting on hip hop's chart. So here's the moon, and this is our start time and end time again. So here's our moon on both charts. Doesn't look right. These look like the same exact. Let me see. I think these might be the same. I'm gonna recopy this just to be sure, because I didn't see the change in the moon. That's what alerted me, because the moon should change. Hey, I said erase. So let me try this again. Make sure I'm getting the right chart. Not being difficult. Okay, maybe it just doesn't show the big change. Um, or I might have copied it wrong in here. I don't know. All right, we're just going to go with this. So here's the moon. And then here's the sun directly opposite from the moon. I'm doing all the ones we looked at already, just in black. And then we will look at what is impacted in hip hop in color. And then here's all of those planets together here in Aquarius, where we have Pluto here at the end. And then we have down here is Uranus. And we talked about it. It's like right on the edge. I'll look and see when it moves to Gemini. But that's where Gemini is. And then here's Uranus over here, and Gemini's right next to it. Let me look and see. Did I get everything in there? Yep, we got the me versus us in Leo and Aquarius. So we got the full moon in there. We got Uranus, and we got that stellium, and we got Pluto. Okay. So now let's look at how these are impacting hip hop. So I already just think it's really interesting that we're getting all of this energy around revolution and unexpected change right at this time. But then we can see right here. So this is Pluto, and it's right near hip hop's moon. So its emotional state is right there. Also, right here is Jupiter for hip hop. So this whole group of these planets here by Jupiter, this means that this energy of revolution, that's interesting. This energy of revolution is heightened. It's expanded because that's what Jupiter does. So it's expanded energy of revolution and unexpected change. And it's right there also with Pluto. Then we do have, here's the sun. So hip hop sun is right here in Leo near where the moon is for this full moon. So that means that the spotlight of hip hop is putting even more emphasis on this moon, on this full moon, where that full moon is the moon of illumination. It brings things to light. It puts things in the spotlight. So not only do we have revolution energy here, but we have revelation energy here. With all of this spotlights on this full moon, and the moon really being about illumination and what needs to change, putting a spotlight on what needs to change or pivot, or watching, being able to watch the change happen. Interesting. I think the only other thing that I want to point out is that we do have Chiron right here, both in Aries. So that means that where we've talked about it, where Chiron is the wound. So this is the open wound of hip hop. The wounds that it's been putting a voice to is what could really be a lot on display. Very interesting. So it looks like there's a expansion of this energy of revolution and unexpected change for hip hop, but especially in the space of emotional transformation, because we have Pluto of transformation that's sitting right next to or right on top of where hip hop's moon was at its birth. So the heart of hip hop is going through a transformation that brings about this unexpected change and revolution. Wow. I don't know what any of that means. I don't know if that helps us like predict or even have some fun in predicting who would win, but this is very interesting. And this would be very different from the Grammys last year. And I don't have those charts, but that would be interesting to look at, is how this is different than last year's Grammys. But it looks like this is more of a long term energy for hip hop. So it's not even, so really the only ones that will really change quickly are the sun and the moon. So it is significant that this is in a full moon time. It means that there'll be a spotlight on whatever happens. It's going to be in the spotlight. It's going to be very clear. It's going to be the topic of discussion, not just because of who wins, but the patterns that we see in relation to hip hop. But these expanded revolution and this open wound of Chiron, they're going to be here for a while. They're going to be in this position. Like that Pluto is not going to move from that spot right next to hip hop's moon for a while. Like a long while. And Jupiter is sitting right there also. So this expansion of the transformation is going to be it's big. It's going to continue to be big throughout this whole year. Wow. Okay. I don't know what else to say. I was like, whoa, I didn't expect all that. So, any questions? Anything to add? So, these are the themes we'll be looking for tomorrow, especially in relations to hip hop. So, as we're watching the Grammys, we want to look for where have the wounds, either what the wounds are or how they've been inflicted on hip hop. We'll be able to see that clearly. That's one pattern. But also this sense of revolution and transformation, especially in the heart space, in that emotional space for hip hop. Okay. Dang, we did a lot today again. I mean, we usually do, but we, it seems like we just keep um going through some deeper and deeper rabbit holes, which is great. Are we ready to spin our wheel? Spin our wheel for the vibration that we'll have to look at for the week, which actually will start tomorrow with the Grammys. So these are a vibration we can actually look for tomorrow as well. Are we ready? Spin our wheel. I gotta find our wheel. Let me go find it. Let me go find our wheel. Okay. We get a sip of water. And then we could spin this wheel. Mm. What you would do if that's what you want to look at, Josh, if you want to look at that end time with the winning artist, what you would do is you would take the birth of the album. So that's the birthday you would use. You would take when the album came out, and you want to get as close to the day, time, and location as possible. And then you would do a transit chart for tomorrow at 8:30 in Los Angeles. Let me know if I need to repeat any of that. But yeah, you could look at those transit charts and actually see how they're resonating for each of the artists. And if you want to look at that, if you have any questions or want me to look at any of those, feel free to send them to me. I'll take a look. I think it would, the way that I would do it if I was going to do it is I would get those transit charts and then I would put them like 3 in a row, like next to each other. Because what you want to look at is what are the differences. So you want to look at how are the planets on the outside interacting with the planets on the inside, and then how that is different between them. So what I would do is I would actually put them like 3 in a row and then mark on there where you see where there's planets both on the outside ring and on the inside ring. I think it would be very interesting. But yeah, it would be, I think the biggest lift is just getting all those charts and getting them in a way where you could look at them together, because you want to look at the patterning. How is the patterning different or changing? Because that's what's going to give you the most information. Yeah, let me know if you want me to look at stuff. I think that'll be cool. Alrighty, I'm gonna spin this wheel so I could go and get some dinner. Really, it's a snack. Or maybe second dinner. Is that supper? Second dinner, supper? Mm-mm. All right, here we go. We're gonna spin our wheel. Ready? Spin! Woohoo! Oh my gosh. Josh, look what you did. Look what you did, Josh. Look what you did. Do you see? Do you see what you did? Exactly. So, our numeric vibration to keep an eye out for this week is 169. This wouldn't be, you wouldn't see it as a time. Um, but this is, yeah, this is interesting. Um, because this 16 of this tower keeps coming up all over the place. So it's this vibration also is trying to draw our attention to, are you in the tower that's about to crumble? This also can be signs that the tower is about to crumble. Hi, Mai. Thank you. I appreciate your like, and it's good to see you. So it's like, is the tower going to crumble? And with this 9, so it's like whatever energy is ending or needed to end or is shifting, how is that contributing to the preparation of this tower falling? Um, yeah, like that's good. It'll be yeah, no, I know what you mean, Josh. I think that would be hard. If you wanted to look at this as a time, what would actually be closer is if you looked at it as 1609, which what would that be? Like 309? Because this would be closer, because this is keeping those vibrations intact. So look at it from the other clock. Oh, you're welcome, Tiptoe Joe. Yeah, we did some deep diving today. I'm glad you were here for it. Yeah, so if you did want to look at it as a time, that's how you would need to look at it. So we have this dominant vibration of this tower. So this vibration of 16 is a big one. Feels like that's really the main one. So like looking for 16 in a lot of different forms where you could have this 16 and then have it with a bunch of different numbers here. So not just the 169, but where it's with other numbers. It definitely feels like it could come up where it's like in a string of numbers like this, like maybe a barcode, and there's the 16 in there. Yeah. Okay. So, for anybody that hasn't heard me say it, what we do is we use this random number that we got to be able to just keep track of where we are seeing these vibrations. So it could be each of these individual numbers or these numbers together. It could also be this theme that's a little bit more complex in looking for. So you can just look for the numbers. But what this does is it helps you to start being aware of the vibrations that are around you and that you're interacting with. And by being aware of those vibrations, now you can actually start taking efforts to learn how to actually move and work with those vibrations and energy. And that's where we want to get us all to, is being able to be aware of those vibrations and being able to be more intentional in how we are moving and working with it. So then we're not just feeling like a victim to the energy or the vibrations. All right. We had a really good live. I just need to go back over here so we could see all that we did. And this doesn't even have everything we did. So that's awesome. Thank you all for being here. I'm glad you made it, Mai. You keep catching us at the end, but it's always good to see you. If you could, please and thank you, hit the like button on your way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. And I will be back live on Wednesday on Twitch. And then I'll be back here live on YouTube on Friday. So enjoy the Grammys tomorrow. It'll be really interesting to see what we have happen. We might have to talk about it a lot next week. We'll see. But thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. It's always good to have you here in chat. You're welcome, LTFM. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Tiptoe Joe. Thank you, Mai. I think we had Alex here. We had Judy here before she had to go to the baby shower. We had Tarot Gothis. And those were just those that were in the chat. So thank you to everybody that showed up and was here, whether you chatted or not. I appreciate you all so very much. I hope you have a really good rest of your weekend and a good week. I'll see you all soon.